You ever have one of those days where you get home, drop your boots at the door, and before you even sit down, your whole world tilts sideways? Yeah, that was me, 12 hours into a rescue shift, dragging mud into the hallway, thinking only about the leftover pizza in the fridge when I spot this mangled envelope stuffed halfway in my mailbox like it was trying to escape. Whispering Pines, HOA, the return address said. And just reading that, I swear my stomach tried to leave the room. If you know HOAs, you know nothing good ever starts with their name on an envelope. I tear it open. Inside, just one page, cold legal, zero pleasantries. You owe $20,000 for demolition costs of an unapproved structure. 30 days to pay. And it took me a solid minute for the words to land. They're talking about my brother's cabin. My cabin since the accident. 7 years he built it up there with his own hands, pine beams, river stones, solitude. He left it to me, and I'd been too busy, too tired to visit for months. But that cabin wasn't just some shed on a hill, it was his soul stitched into timber and sweat. And now it was gone. I just sat on the porch, boots on concrete, letter trembling in my hands, watching the sun sink behind the oaks, thinking, this is how people go numb. Then I called Tom Harkness. He's a friend, but more importantly, he's a damn good lawyer. I read him the letter. He's silent for a beat, then says, that land is yours. I saw the deed myself. You never got any notice. Nothing. Not a parking ticket, not a warning, not a phone call. First step. Tom says, do not talk to them. Let me dig. Frosty, he tells me. Stay frosty. I mumbled an agreement even as I was already throwing my bag in the truck. Frosty, sure. I was nuclear. I drove through the Blue Ridge 3.5 hours north, all winding back roads. Normally that calms me, you know. Not this time. This time every mile just pulled the knot in my gut tighter. Last time I checked the cabin's security app 4 months ago, everything looked fine, alarm armed. No weird alerts. So I'm driving up expecting to see the old gate, my brother's crooked welcome sign, the gravel crunching under the tires. But there's nothing, just this freakishly smooth, empty patch of grass, too green, glowing in my headlights like something radioactive. I park, step out. The earth feels wrong under my boots, flat, raw, scrubbed, no debris, no foundation. Chimney tool shed, solar rack gone. It's like the whole cabin had been erased, not just knocked down. Even the damn fence posts are missing. I checked my security app status, inactive disarmed 4 months ago, but I never did that. You ever get that feeling like the wind's trying to tell you something but you just can't hear? That's how it felt standing where my brother's porch should have been. Back in the truck, I yanked open my glove box and pulled out every deed survey map, everything tying that land to my name. Then, without even thinking, I pointed the truck straight at Whispering Pines. I wasn't about to stay frosty. I wanted faces, not forms. Next morning, I roll up to Whispering Pines, faux brick entrances, fake security cameras, flower beds manicured within an inch of their lives. It's the kind of place that thinks it's a country club, but it's really just a fancy prison with better landscaping. The HOA office is this glass-walled fortress. I park across 2 spaces. Petty. Absolutely. But it felt good. Inside, the front desk girl gives me that look like I just asked directions to the moon. I need Karen Aldridge, I say. Her face tightens. She's in a meeting. So was I. My house had 4 walls until she erased them. She's flustered, but I'm already headed down the hall, scanning for community development. There it is, executive operations. Karen Aldridge. A security guard catches up as I'm opening her door. I ignore him. Karen looks up from her desk ice and her eyes phone still in hand. Where's my house, I ask. She folds her hands. Mr. Stroud, your unpermitted structure was removed lawfully under Section 8 hazardous build approved by vote. She says the land is community maintained. I slam my paperwork down. That's my name on the deed, and you never gave notice. She leans back all smug. Our most recent boundary verification places that parcel in our jurisdiction. I'm shaking, not from fear, but from holding back every word my mother would have washed my mouth for. She talks about channels, tells me to take it up with their legal team. That word calm comes up again like I'm supposed to smile while they bulldoze my brother's life. I lose it. The guard grabs my shoulder. I twist out instinct. Suddenly there are two more guards, Karen slamming her panic button, and next thing I know, my wrists are in cuffs, cold and tight. Blue Ridge County lockup isn't the worst I've seen, just a concrete bench, flickering lights, air that tastes like bleach and regret. They keep me overnight mumbling about disturbing the peace, but no charges yet. Karen's deciding just how hard to hit me. By morning, Tom's there, calls me an idiot before I can say hello. They're charging you with assault and threats. Court date in 10 days. You sneeze wrong, they'll paint you as violent. I rub my wrists. They faked a boundary map and flattened my cabin and billed me. Tom sighs, but his eyes are bright. We fight back. We countersue. Tom's got the deed, the photos, records that prove my family owned that land long before Whispering Pines was even a pipe dream. But how'd they pull it off, he asks. It's not just a mistake, they had help. Then I mention the security system deactivated 4 months ago needed two-factor. Only way is if someone faked my login or had backdoor access. Tom goes quiet. That's big. This could be criminal, not just civil. By noon, I'm released on bond. Not allowed near the HOA office, which is fine by me. Back home, I'm pulling every record, every photo, even the old USB stick with the land survey. That night, Tom calls. Demolition wasn't filed with the city. It used a rural exemption meant for storm cleanup. Fast-tracked. Signed by R. Gins, city liaison. He resigned 2 months ago. That name rings a bell. My brother called him the handshake guy. Then Tom drops another bomb, security company that installed my alarm. Its director sits on the HOA board. I laugh. It's a racket. We dig, Tom says. And we go public if we have to. Next morning, I drag my old corkboard out, pin up survey maps, deed their phony boundary. My land never touched their jurisdiction, but for a 4-month window, they moved the line just long enough to bulldoze my place. Tom shows up mid-morning, arms full of sticky-noted documents. Got something, he says, waving a digital request from County Planning Emergency Clearance Unsafe Structure using a 6-year-old satellite photo. The porch wasn't even finished back then. But it was all they needed. No inspection, no hearing, just a digital stamp. Here comes the twist. Tom finds Haley Aldridge, Karen's daughter, listed as the person who requested my security system be shut off. She's not even authorized. That's illegal. We're requesting record subpoenas, the works. Tom growls. If we're right, it's coordinated fraud. That night, Ben Keller shows up. He's ex-cop now, a PI specializing in land disputes guy. Looks like he sleeps in his car and probably does. He throws down a folder, photos, timelines, money trails. Our Gins took $20K from the demo company kickbacks. The demolition firm owned by Karen's husband through a shell company. Security company redacted the logs on your alarm, Ben says. They're hiding something. All this just to steal land from a rescue pilot who wanted peace and trees. Not just you, Ben says. If you'd stayed away, they'd have annexed it and resold for profit. Tom's ready. We go public. Now. Next morning, there's my story front page of the Appalachian Courier. Mountain HOA accused of orchestrated land theft scheme. Karen's name is everywhere. By noon, their office phones are melting, neighbors are talking, and a stranger messages me. You're not the only one. They tried to take my mother's garden lot last year. Within a day, 4 more come forward. Tom starts drafting the class action. Meanwhile, Ben hands me a flash drive in a Denny's parking lot. Truth lives here, he jokes. On it, security cam footage my own the HOA thought they erased. Timestamp 2:15 a.m. 4 months ago. Black SUV, 4 people in vests, 1 with a clipboard, 1 with a key, not forced entry. The next day, demolition crew arrives, paperwork in hand, Karen directing traffic in a beige coat. The key, only 2 existed, mine and 1 locked in my brother's old safe. Someone made a copy during that bogus annexation. Then it all explodes. Whistleblower leaks internal HOA memos about a reclamation list. Addresses comments like seasonal only low enforcement risk. Mine is marked Target 6. Not a fluke, a playbook. Even Karen's board is splintering. One resigns on Facebook Live, another tweets about intimidation. By Monday, Tom's inbox is a disaster zone. Contractors, ex-board members, homeowners, all with their own stories. A silver-haired clerk at the county office, Dolores, remembers my brother. Remembers him raising hell about boundary tampering years ago. She hands me 2 survey maps, old and new. On the new, my land is quietly folded into whispering pines. Gaskins, she says, filed the change. Quit right before Christmas. A lot of paperwork walked with him. There it is, the digital smoking gun. Tom files for an emergency injunction. CNN picks up the story. Suddenly I'm on camera standing on bare dirt where my brother's house used to be, saying they stole it. Then they billed me. That line goes viral. The sheriff raids the HOA office. Karen's lawyer tries to dismiss, but Tom's got the receipts, photos, demolition invoices, the reclamation list, even surveillance footage of Karen giving orders. The judge isn't buying their story. We move to full discovery. Then the wildest thing, some guy in a hoodie at court whispers, "Check your back gate trail cam footage from 3 weeks before the demolition. Karen scoped you out." Ben and I dig up the camera battery, nearly dead, but it caught Karen, 3 men in khaki, laughing, pointing at the cabin. Ben hands me his flask. "Here's your closing argument." Court gets wild. Subpoenas fly. The demolition crew testifies they cut my gate, and no trespassing signs on Karen's orders. No permits, no court orders. Security company admits disabling my alarm at the request of a board member's teenage daughter. Timestamp matches a board meeting Karen present. Whistleblower emails circle my house on maps. 5 others mark the same. County zoning assistant says Gaskins was pressured by Karen's cousin. The judge sends it to the DA. Karen's indicted conspiracy, fraud, racketeering, the works. 3 board members flip for lighter sentences. My civil suit wins $820,000 in damages. Court-ordered dissolution of the HOA security company loses its license. Karen's in federal custody. But the best part, a letter comes months later from the son of another victim. His dad's cabin bulldozed, just like mine. He thanks me, says his dad cried when the news broke. That's when I knew this was bigger than one house. I rebuilt not a replica, a resurrection. Stone walls, steel beams, cameras everywhere. A nameplate that reads, Stroud House. And above the fireplace, the trail cam that caught Karen in the act. Now I run a blog, Mountain Watch. Homeowners reach out from all over the country. I help them find lawyers, surveyors, journalists, the works. Folks call me a watchdog. I say I'm just a rescue pilot who got tired of pulling people out after the crash, so I decided to stop the sabotage in the first place. No more demolitions, not on my watch. So let me ask you, if it was your land, your family's legacy, would you fight back or would you just walk away? Tell me down in the comments what justice looks like to you, and if you've ever had to take on a giant just to keep what's yours. And hey, share your story. You never know who needs to hear it.